Let's talk about the scope view in Big Picture. Is it really needed? Because I think there might be a better alternative for it. But I'll also show you an amazing application of the scope view when you're working with it in a certain way. This video is part of our effort to deliver the high quality training content for Jira, Confluence, and all of the apps inside the Atlassian ecosystem. If you want to support us and you enjoy the content, then the best way to do it is to subscribe to the channel. But you can also reach out to us for paid services, which we do offer in those areas. And now back to Big Picture, back to the scope view. So right now, you can see in front of you the scope module. We see it over here, and we're looking at some data from one of our boxes in Big Picture. And this scope view, what it allows you to do is it allows you to look at the data in a table-like fashion. So basically you have a table, you have columns over there. You can, of course, manage those columns, add the ones that you want to see over here, remove the ones that you don't like. It works with custom fields. It works with quite many of the additional apps that you can install on top of Jira. So it's pretty flexible. All right, so what is my deal with it? Why am I saying that maybe the scope module is really not needed over here? So take a look at this. If I leave the scope module and I'll go to the Gantt module, then basically what I see on my left side is very, very, very similar to what we have in the scope module. Now, of course, the Gantt module gives me the ability to look at the Gantt-like chart and the data structured over here so that it's maybe easier to compare or see the parent and child relationship, to see the placement in time of those tasks. Yes, of course, it is definitely a benefit. But what if I want to work only with the data and I do something like this? Right? If I switch now between the Gantt and the scope module, there is almost no difference. And I, on purpose, so purposefully, added the same list of columns over here, so you will see exactly the same data. And both of those modules allow you to customize those columns to work with what you want to see over here. So again, it doesn't make much of a difference. Therefore, does it make sense to work with the scope view if you can do the same and a lot more with the Gantt view? Because, you know, in the scope view, even if I go over here, I don't have too many options, right? Fortunately, I have the grouping options over here, so that's good. I have a sorting option as well. I can add tasks over here, manage scope, import tasks from files. So these are the same things that you will find on the Gantt module as well. So take a look at these items. They are the same. This is also very, very similar, although we have baselines over here. But in terms of view, even on the Gantt, we have several more things to work with. But to be fair, they are connected rather with the Gantt chart that is currently hidden over here than the column view that we have here, right? But other than that, you know, the inline editing that we have here is also available in the scope, of course. So these functionalities are kind of the same, right? So why do people actually use scope module? Where is it used? When it is used? When does it make sense to work with it? Well, I'll tell you two beautiful applications of it. So the first one is, well, actually, in both of those, it is quite frankly only useful for the teams that are working in the agile way, agile approach, right? So if you're working with the board module as well, which is here, that's the one I mean, or maybe the objectives as well, and then you want a place where you can groom the data, structure them in your sprints, for example, or do whatever you need with the data, maybe prioritize it, maybe score it somehow, then this could be a good place to go. Now, again, you can do it on the Gantt chart, but if you're working with the large data set, you know, thousands of tickets, then you also have to think about the performance of the app itself. And, you know, logically, because the scope module has lot less functionalities, then it will work faster. So if you come to work on the data over here, you will be rewarded with the faster response time. So that's one important thing to remember. Now, the second thing is even a lot better. So the first one is just about speed. No big deal. Maybe you don't suffer because of that issue. But the second one, hear me out. Switch the tab, and I'll show you an amazing functionality that is hidden under, well, was hidden actually, sorry, was hidden under the view, but currently it's collapsible on the right side over here, which is called detailed view. So if you expand this and you select one of the tasks over here, you will get a Jira-like window here presenting the view screen of an issue that is currently here selected. Now, this issue gives you full control and full functionality of a normal Jira window. So it's like kind of embedded over here. And whatever you can do on the pure Jira window, you can do over here as well. So again, inline editing, changing the assignees and so on, it's here, right? If you want to export the data, if you want to change the status easily, it's here. If you want to log work or do all the other things that are available over here, it's available, it's right, it's doable. So this window gives you everything that Jira gives you. And it's an amazing feature if you want to, for example, go through the list of issues that you have over here and update them in maybe several different ways. And again, of course, you could do this without this window, but not all the fields are actually inline editable in BigPicture. Most of them currently are, but still, for example, the original estimate, right? You can't edit the original estimate from the big picture view, but you can do it from here as long as the field is enabled on this view. In my case, I don't think it is, but if it would be, you could just inline edit it. So there are definitely benefits to what you can do with this kind of window compared to just plain big picture scope / Gantt view, right? Therefore, this is amazing, right? You can use, as I mentioned before, all the options over here, which normally you wouldn't be able to do unless you open a new window with the screen view, issue view, sorry, right? So if you think about it, this is really helpful because you can just sit down with the team or yourself and just go through the issues one by one, update whatever needs to be updated, and it's probably quite a quick way again to groom your backlog, for example. So that you can later on plan your product increments, your sprints, your iterations, whatever is needed. But there is a catch. So I switched the window not because I had it prepared beforehand, which is true as well, but also because this is a different instance of Jira and BigPicture as well. The one that we were looking over here at is the cloud instance. This one is not a cloud instance. It's a self-hosted instance of Jira. So for those of you that are still on Jira server, this could be available over there. For those of you that already migrated and are on Jira data center, again, this will be available on the data center, but it's not available on the cloud instance of BigPicture. So there are slight differences between self-hosted and cloud versions of BigPicture, and this is one of them. Unfortunately, this beautiful functionality is missing from the cloud version, and I don't think it's coming to the cloud version anytime soon because it's not missing from there because the developers, people at BigPicture were lazy and didn't want to add it. They did, but unfortunately, as you probably or maybe not know, the API available on the cloud version is different than the one on the self-hosted versions of Jira, and some things are not doable, simply not doable on the cloud version, and apparently this is one of them. So even though I would definitely hope to get it on the cloud version, I don't raise my hopes up too high, and you shouldn't as well. But of course, there is nothing stopping you from writing to BigPicture and saying that this is a missile functionality and we definitely want to have it on the cloud because, you know, there are definitely some things that can change in the future, and APIs of the cloud version of Jira can change in the future, and maybe this will finally come to the cloud version that so many companies are currently being forced or maybe not forced because many of them are doing it willingly, but moving to, right? So this is definitely something to consider. All right, so this is what I wanted to tell about the scope view. It is quite similar to the Gantt chart in terms of this left part of the Gantt chart, so the table part, but there are some slight differences which you have to be aware of. If you are planning on using Big Picture, then maybe this is worth knowing that this functionality is available only on the self-hosted version, so that if you're going to the cloud version, you will not have it. Also, if you think that this is an interesting tip, I want to tell you that in our video training for Big Picture or live trainings as well, we are dropping lots of those useful tips, different use cases, different applications for different functionalities that the tool has. So I think we've created one of the richest trainings that you can get out there for any kind of tool. And I'm personally super proud of what we did. So if you want to explore this, reach out to us. All the contacts are in the description of this video. We will schedule a call and we will talk about your needs and figure out how we can help you. Also, if you've liked this video and you think that it's been helpful, give it a like, please. You can also drop a comment. It helps other users find the content more easily. And also you can consider subscribing to the channel for more interesting tips regarding Big Picture, structure, any other project management tools, Jira, Confluence that we are covering on this channel. Again, if this has been useful, I am very happy and I appreciate you, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.